And those barriers, Dr. Model is definitely a world-renowned scientist in the realm of physical activity, specifically with patients with MS. And he's come up with in the last couple of years that symptoms obviously are a big barrier. You know that, you know. And there's a symptom cluster: fatigue, pain, and depression. Those are a cluster of symptoms. Not one symptom works in a vacuum. We don't work in a vacuum. We're in an environment. So are our symptoms. Our symptoms are multiple. For sure, with the pathophysiology of multiple sclerosis, there are multiple symptoms. In these three clusters, we as providers and you as persons with MS and family members have to understand, with these three combined, it's a rather large hurdle, but we need to enhance that. So I'm talking hurdles, it's not dire. I also think, you know, this is something that is in the literature. We definitely have to think about symptoms of mobility. Mobility is a significant limitation. We're thinking about, I need to be more active, I need to exercise. But I'm going to disprove that we should be able to get over these hurdles and through these hurdles. Additional barriers include worsening of symptoms due to exercise and activity. So I'm proposing that, yes, we need to increase the activity, but at the same time, this might create more of the problems that are the barriers: symptoms, fatigue, exertion. So we need to exercise and increase physical activity correctly through guidance early on and continued guidance and support from multiple aspects. Second is limitations in transportation, access, resources, and finances. That's a really long item, and that is definitely a burden for some. But none of these barriers or burdens are necessarily unattainable in being able to break them down. And we as providers, as scientists, as those leading in the field, we need to have more outreach and support you in your efforts. No doubt about that. So influencers and facilitators, I was very happy to hear that Dr. Vollmer definitely brought up the fact of self-efficacy, because that is one barrier. Lack of, but it also could be a facilitator. And exercise and physical activity can help self-efficacy. Your thought of, can I do this? Can I truly do this? Anything. In this realm, can I really engage in physical activity? Can I really decrease some of my symptoms? Can I really improve my mobility? Can I really improve my pain? My quality of life? I don't know. So obviously with these, it's kind of back and forth. Lack of self-efficacy leads to, I don't know if I can participate in that. And then also, physical activity may increase that self-efficacy. Whoops, went backwards. And then overall symptoms. Symptoms not only can affect your self-efficacy, they can also directly affect inability to even engage in increased physical activity. However, with all this going forward, more self-efficacy, more physical activity and exercise can reduce and improve symptoms. However, what about self-esteem? So we got a self-efficacy, we might be splitting hairs a bit, but self-esteem, how do I feel about myself? That's huge. And physical activity can help that. Exercise can help that. That's been proven in the general population as well as patients with MS. Symptoms and social support can help the self-esteem as well. Family, social, friends, providers. Boy, if we're just sitting there going, why are you not exercising? Come on, you can do it. I told you that 6 months ago. But if we don't continue to support you, the self-esteem gets lost. So here's some comments of a really thorough survey research. And these are actual comments from persons with MS. I'm feeling I can't do things correctly. Concerned about safety. And this is about engaging in exercise and physical activity. Feeling what I do doesn't help. Well, maybe just not being able to get the right prescription for what really is going to help you. That's probably a big hurdle there. Lack of information about what to do. We have the information, and give you a story from my my doctorate education. About 6 years ago, I was in class, and there was about 30 individuals, and I was the only physical therapist, and everybody else was nurses and physicians. And it was about, why can't we get the word out? We were getting the word out that exercise is really important to the general population. Why are people still not exercising? Why is the obesity continuing to be a trend upward? Why are they not listening? We've got the evidence. Why don't they listen to us and do it? Well, I stood up and these 30 individuals, I said, okay, how many people in this room are exercising more than 3 days a week? No one raised their hands. They're the experts in the research, and they're saying, we're telling people, why are they not doing it? We're not telling them the right way. We're not supporting those individuals in the right way. Lack of help from healthcare professionals. Again, help, support, but this was a direct quote from that survey. So really good things that you might think about yourself. So enhancing the process, huge list, can't go into too much detail in each one of those, but setting exercise-specific goals. Set goals for yourself, specifically about your physical activity and things that you want to obtain. And they're going to be short-term, medium, and long-term goals. Writing down those goals in behavioral contract. Really make a contract with yourself, with help from friends and family and providers, that you want to have a contract in front of you. Self-monitoring progress. That's going to be something that is a little bit harder to do. How do I really self-monitor myself? Regular feedback on progress, follow-up from providers. Using environmental cues and reminders, so Post-its, right on the mirror. Come on, you got to move. Or you got your smartphone, little alarm, every 30 minutes. Okay, oh, geez, I've been sitting for 30 minutes now, because usually I'll sit for 3 hours and not do anything. Set those reminders in your environment and cue yourself. Self-rewards. Give yourself something. If I increase my activity by X amount, if I'm doing this at least 3 days a week, maybe I can go to a movie. I don't go to movies very often, but maybe that could be a reward for yourself. Using personal trainers, and I put that in quotations because this might not be something that you necessarily have to pay a personal trainer for in the gym or go to a gym. It could be your spouse, it could be your friends, it could be a provider, hopefully, that can help you train yourself through this process. Additional enhancements, compensate for your barriers. So if limitations in mobility seems to be a big barrier, let's see if we can compensate for that. Additional support from peers and family in comfortable setting and environment. Not only comfortable as far as like physically comfortable, but just, I really don't feel good about going to a gym where there's a whole bunch of spandex around me. That's a lot of comments that I get. I just don't want to go to the gym because I don't feel comfortable. Well, let's make sure that you're comfortable. At home, we can get something done. So this is a general approach to adapting exercise to MS-related disability level. So really no physical disability. There's not going to be as much adaptation needed. However, still need to emphasize exercise training. As we move into advanced, more increased disability, mild disability, fatigability, heat intolerance, a more supervised exercise training program is advised. A bit more to the physical limitations that are presented with increased disability. More severe disability, and then wheelchair bedridden disability. However, if you notice, as we go through the disability level, increased disability level, we never drop the aspect of exercise. We never drop the aspects of, well, you're too disabled to actually increase your physical activity. So there's two things that you haven't seen on barriers or limitations is one, I don't have enough time to do it, and I'm too disabled to do it. Those are two things that are not on the list, and I do not think should be on the list. So there's always something that can be moved, whether it just be a head turn, a head nod, that's physical activity, if that's all you can move. If all you can do is blink your eyes, that's what you're going to be doing, physical activity. But if you're minimal activity or disability, you can increase your physical activity quite a bit because your barriers are a little bit less. So general things to consider is heart rate and blood pressure response to exercise. This is a big thing about especially aerobic or endurance exercise, is that there's approximately 50 to 60% of persons with MS that have what's called autonomic nervous system dysfunction, what automatically increases your heart rate and blood pressure with exertion. However, within clinics as well as research, I've definitely found that there's at least 50 to 60% of people that just cannot get the heart rate up high enough and or pressure high enough to meet the exertion demands of physical activity and exercise. So that's something that you want to make sure that you have a well-prescribed individual that is going to be working with you. Physical therapist, your physician, nurse practitioners, that we determine, is there going to be some type of what we call blunted heart rate? We cannot monitor heart rate if you have that effect. So I'll tell you how we're going to help you with that. Well, then how do I know how much I'm doing and where should I be?